So what's up? Welcome back to part two of this series about strengthening the black family. Like I said in part one, I'm really just doing this because I feel like this needs to be a bigger topic of conversation. A lot of other conversations are being had kind of useless, you know what I'm saying, in my opinion. I think this conversation about the black family needs to be spoken more about. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm subscribed to like 35 podcasts right now. And this is the conversation I never hear being had. So I was like, let's break down, you know what I'm saying, what we got to do in the culture to get the family structure back on point. You feel me? So, and this one I'm going to talk about where I think you should be as a man, where you should be mentally before you start a family. You feel me? Like, I feel like if you ask people about their past relationships, especially in our culture, they'd be like, oh, that chick was crazy. Or she might be like, that dude crazy, you feel me? And it's easy to write somebody off as crazy. And don't get me wrong, some people probably, you know what I'm saying, do have that level of mental issues that they might be clinically diagnosed with something, you know what I'm saying, that you would deem crazy. But I feel like 75% of the time, you just don't understand that person. And the more you talk to them and find out what they've been through, you might can see where they're coming from and why they're like that. You feel me? I think, you know what I'm saying, I feel like us as black males, we have a lot of anger. So we're perceived as violent. And females have a lot of hurt and pain, so they're perceived as hard to deal with. But it just means we have to have a greater level of communication. You feel me? Everybody's not crazy. You just got to know how to talk to them, how to deal with them, and then see the world through their eyes. And you can make adjustments. It's easy to write somebody off as crazy, but I think you have to think about therapy. You feel me? So here's some reasons as a man I feel like you should go to therapy. These issues gonna come back around. Like if your father wasn't around, go to therapy. If your father was around, but like he was toxic, alcoholic or something like that, you probably should go to therapy. If you got mommy issues, you need to go to therapy. If you was abused, any kind of abuse, verbal, physical, mental, any kind of abuse that you suffered as a child at the hand of schoolmates or your parents or something that really affected you, you probably should go to therapy. All this before, you know what I'm saying, you start a family. You got to get your mind right. You feel me? I already showed you how to get the financial part right. Now this is even more important, getting your mind right before you go on this journey to start your family. You feel me? What else? If you've been to jail multiple times, you probably should go to therapy. And if you have self-esteem issues, you probably should go to therapy before you just hop out there and, you know what I'm saying, try to start a family. You got to make sure your mental on point. I think a lot of people get in situations and they haven't did the work on themselves, shadow work and things like that. You got to do that on yourself because it's going to pop up in your relationship, I guarantee. You feel me? And then as you get older and mature, you look back and be like, oh, that's why I was acting like that. I could have fixed that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us don't know. So these are some things that I'm saying like you should go to therapy for. You feel me? And if you have any of these things, there's nothing wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people, because I promise, like most people I talk to, when you get to the root of it, everybody has some kind of crazy trauma. You feel me? Like pretty much every female I've ever dealt with has something crazy in their past. I haven't met one that didn't have like something detrimental that happened to them. It's usually multiple things. And dudes, we don't talk about it, but we be having the same stuff. So what it is you put two ticking time bombs together, and of course it's gonna explode. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta get our mind right before we get into these relationships. You feel me? So therapy, if you've been through any of those things, you gotta go to therapy and get your mind right. And the next thing is communication. You feel me? I think to be a good leader, you gotta be a good listener. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be a good listener and a good communicator. If you want to know people that's scared of having hard conversations, you need to figure that out. Because you got to get comfortable with having hard conversations if you really want to be the leader of your household. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you might say something to somebody and it might hurt their feelings. But if you phrase it the right way, they know you're saying it out of love, they can improve. And you got to give them that space to talk to you like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got to be in a position where if your lady tell you, you messing up, you got to be able to listen. You can't fly off at the handle. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to listen. Just listen. And if somebody is trying to give you some constructive criticism, just listen. If you can tell genuine, you got to use your gauge to see if they, you know what I'm saying, really sincere. But you got to be able to communicate. You feel me? You got to be able to communicate in a real way. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure you communicate what you're thinking about, how you're feeling. And the biggest part for us dudes, you got to communicate with your partner what you going through. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, a lot of dudes say, man, don't be telling females how you feel because they gonna throw it in your face. Well, that's because she's not healed. You know what I'm saying? That's all she knows. That don't mean she's an asshole. You just gonna have to, you know what I'm saying, teach her, or hopefully she learn. But you need to be with somebody emotionally intelligent enough where you can just tell them like, look, I've kind of been on one because I ain't making the money I wanted to make, or I've been kind of on one because I thought I was gonna be able to do this at my job and they hired somebody else, so I feel a certain kind of way. Anything embarrassing. You might be sick, you know what I'm saying, got something medical that's kind of embarrassing. You got to be able to talk about it. You got to be one of those people to communicate good. And I think that's what's messing up a lot of families, because there's not enough communication. They're not telling their partner what's the real problem, because a lot of these things can be solved with a simple conversation. And a lot of y'all already know this. Like, you ever been into it with somebody and then y'all talking, then next thing y'all just cool like the next day? Like, I promise, like, me and one of my best friends got in a literal fist fight. You feel me? And we was ready to go to get the sticks out. You feel me? We had one conversation. It was a whole big misunderstanding. We was in the club partying together within like 3 days after the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's all it be. You got to be willing to communicate. Make sure your communication is on par. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you went to therapy if you needed it. If you can't afford therapy, you might have to, like, maybe just join a local church. You know what I'm saying? Or join a support group. You know what I'm saying? They're out there. I've been in Alcoholic Anonymous groups before. I've been in that like 3 times. I've been in anger management 3 times. Yeah, it's people out there that can get you through these things. You feel me? And this is not being taught to us. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I kind of like don't like a lot of the music, because they giving y'all the stuff that's gonna give you trauma, but they're not giving you how to heal from that trauma and keep on going. You feel me? Because a lot of dudes still got PTSD from the hood. If you ever had guns to your head or slept with guns under your pillow, that type of stuff stays with you. You feel me? And stuff that happened in prison and jail and all that stuff, it kind of stays with you. So when you get to a certain age, you got to kind of like retrain your mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to allow you to prosper, and hopefully that allow you to start a family, you know what I'm saying, and lead that family to success. Like I said, it's very important. It's imperative. You feel me? We got to keep going and keep building and try to just, I don't know, just be better as a people, because I feel like we just too nice to be last. Like, I don't want to see us in last in no categories, in wealth, education, none of these. We just too nice to be last in these. And I'm like, if I can do anything about it, we not gonna be last. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing this for the generation, my daughter's generation. You feel me? Like, if we start now, by the time, you feel me, by the time she's my age, we'll make enough progress where we won't be last in all these categories. You feel me? It starts somewhere, so let's start here. So yeah, that's it. That's what I want to tell y'all. As a man, make sure your mental on point. Make sure you go to therapy. Make sure you are a good communicator, and then you be good. So that's the end of this part. The next part, I'm gonna tell you, in my opinion, how to pick the right woman to start your family with. That's gonna be part 3. But in the meantime, man, if you got something to add to this conversation or some critiques, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just starting the conversation. You know what I'm saying? This is meant to trigger more conversation. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said on the last one, share this with like-minded people. You feel me? Like, and this is mainly aimed at like younger dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like late teens, early 20s. Or if you're older and you, like I said, you went away for a while and you coming back and you want to start a family and you just don't know exactly what you need to do, or you just having thoughts, you feel me? Like, we got to be a community to help each other, you know what I'm saying? The information is out there. It's people willing and ready to help you. Trust me, I got a lot of help. And anger management does work. It does work, you know what I'm saying? Trust me from experience. I used to be mad that I had to go, but it was court ordered. So I went, and it changed my life. It probably saved my life, you feel me? So like I said, I'm here to try to help some people, you know what I'm saying, go through some things, and hopefully we get the black family on point. But yes, stay tuned for part 3. It's gonna be some information in there that I think y'all gonna like. But yeah, that's it.